Beautiful inhabitants of this beaming planet, welcome to League Unlocked. My name is Eric. Thanks for hanging out with us as always. You remember the dramatic ending to the regular season in the LCK. Well, you had about 3 days to kind of catch your breath because we're already right into that playoff grind. It's going to be a very long time before you're seeing Griffin on the Rift, but the defending champs from SK Telecom didn't have to wait long at all because, yes, they got to play in the wild card round. They got to play before we even get to those best of 5 series. And we know it kicked off against the Afreeca Freaks for them. Again, basically 2 days after the regular season ended. And SKT, they were rolling. They had the 9-game win streak. Then they slumped towards the end. Still going to come in as favorites against Afreeca, as is expected, as the MSI reps from Korea this split. And if you thought that maybe Mata would be coming in for the playoffs, well, it didn't happen in game 1. It was going to be Effort that got the start, as he has been pretty consistent for them over their solid stretch to close this one out. And Faker gets the Renekton mid, Khan in the Vladimir in the top lane. Renekton versus Kiana, obviously a pretty good counter pick against what appears to be a pretty busted champion. And early on, it's a good old-fashioned brouhaha in that mid lane. 3v3 junglers and supports. Everybody's welcome. Let's TP on in. There's that Kiana damage. That is pretty disgusting. First blood goes over to Afreeca. It's UCal who grabs it. Zenon pops the Alistar ulti, and he would be absolutely fine. Then around the Rift Herald, it's that Alistar engaging this time. Completely blows up Effort pretty damn quickly, but Faker is just hovering around the outskirts of this fight, waiting to dash in on the Crocodile. He finds his opening, flashes in to take down Dread, and then it's the flash in for Klid on the Skarner to re-engage this fight. UCal takes him down though, and then he's going to run away. There's kills going everywhere. Teddy gets another one. They chase down Sen, and it ends up being a 3 for 3. Kills going every which way in that one. Now 4-4 in kills, battling over that Cloud Drake. Again, it's Klid getting things started with the pull, and Dread gets completely blown up pretty much instantly. And Faker again going in on the Renekton, taking down UCal, who dashes in and gets completely destroyed. That's a lot of kills going over to SKT. Ends up being 4, and they are chasing down one man left in Keen. Effort pops in. Teddy does go down to the Gangplank passive, but that's a lot of kills over to SKT and complete map control. And then later, around the Baron buff, you see here Klid grabs another kill onto UCal's Kiana. They're going to run out of the Gangplank ulti. The Baron is getting pretty darn low. It's a bunch of kills to SKT, and they still have healthy enough members to take down the Baron. Keen is going to try his best on that Gangplank, but Khan just scares him off. Dread shows up a little bit too late. That was a 5v4, by the way, the start of this fight. So Dread finally comes in, decides for some reason, let's re-engage 2v4, and spoon feeds 2 more kills over to SKT plus the Baron buff. That's going to be enough for them to at least break down the base and grab a couple of inhibs, but they would flounder a little bit. It would take them a little while to close this thing out until Khan, is going to flash in on a late game Vladimir, do absolutely disgusting amounts of damage, kill pretty much everybody. UCal is trying to flank, but by the time you show up to the fight, the game is completely over, my man. Game 1 goes over to SKT. They were in control for the majority of that one. Game 2, look at those last 2 picks for Afreeca. Draven and Yasuo. If that doesn't scream all-out aggression, then I don't really know what does. Early on, it's a 3-man dive onto Khan on that Kennen, who he flashes, but you're not avoiding the Sejuani ulti. First blood goes over to Keen in the top lane, and they were not done messing around with the electric mouse in the top lane. Again, it's Dread showing some attention with the Kobe fade away on the Sejuani ulti to grab another kill. That was 2 straight for Afreeca to get things going. Then they're around the Baron. No contest there from CLG. They got a flash, and that's about all they got out of it. I think they get 2 because Dread has to flash afterwards, but that's Baron over to Afreeca. They were fully in control. There were not many kills in this game, but finally you see aiming cash in on that Draven, and that is a late cash in. He hadn't died. Got a disgusting amount of gold. Faker was on the Nico in this game. He tries to engage here, but the rest of Afreeca are there. They are ready for it. They grab a kill. A couple more kills go over to the Draven, and then the Realm Warp in. Goodbye, Sweet Prince in effort. You're not surviving that one. He gets blown up. The rest of SKT are left to run. Aiming is three-shotting everybody. We're going to a decisive game 3 because, yes, it's still not the best of 5s in playoffs. We got to keep saying that, but Afreeca bounced back. The Draven and Yasuo actually work, and game 3, we got what the fans wanted to see. It is Faker on an assassin in the mid lane. It is Qiyana, who we know is absolutely disgusting. Klid gets the Silas, and Khan on the Jax. Pretty fun draft overall from SKT. And early on in the 3v3 top side, it's SKT that grab one of these first kills, and then they're cleaning up more. It does, Khan does drop down, but it's 2 in the favor of SKT. They will take that one. And then a little bit later on, it is the Camille who catches out effort on the Alistair for seemingly no reason, and it's another cash-in for aiming, and then it's effort again getting caught out, and that was kind of the theme, him just meandering around by himself to kind of get Afreeca back into the game, I mean, this play was so bad you have to see it twice that he got caught out because it was just unexpected to see that from him. And then the rest of SKT, they do decide, you know what, it's 5v4, it doesn't even matter. Let's just fight anyways, and it does take a little while, but they feel confident enough, and Afreeca's also split up. They just completely dive bomb onto Dread as he gets completely blown up, and then UCal does the Lissandra special with the ulti into stopwatch, which lasts 30 seconds, but the rest of SKT, they want to keep on going. Teddy flashes in, and just look at Faker clean this one up, and then he cleanses out. He's gonna survive. Actually, he didn't cleanse anything there. The Proto Belt still hit him, but 3 survive for SKT. That was enough for them to lock up the Baron because Kai'Sa, as we know, completely obliterates the big purple worm. And then in the bottom lane, 2 mountains now for SKT, a Baron buff, a big sizable gold lead. They are just cleaning up and steamrolling through the bot lane of the Afreeca Freaks. Again, UCal buying as much time, but doesn't really matter. They would lose a fight, and then it's Afreeca on the Baron, the instant cleanse from Faker. It doesn't matter. Khan is in there. Teddy, ulti in. You could clean that up. He had the Kai'Sa ulti, but he didn't want to do it. I guess maybe that would have looked like a bit of an int play, but the Baron goes to Afreeca. All of a sudden, they're back, and then the flank here for Keen really does not work because it turns into a 2v1. Klid steals the Elder Dragon, and now with a 5v4 in their favor, SKT clean up the fight with that buff. 4 members down now, just waiting on the GA for aiming. Senin says, I'm going to do one last dance and one last death because why not? But SKT, that's an ace. Then they run it down with that dragon buff to take game 3. They beat the Afreeca Freaks. They avoid semi-disaster by losing in the opening round of the playoffs. They were fully in control in that 3rd game. We finally got to see Faker on an actual assassin pick, and him and Klid absolutely put on a clinic. They had 100% kill participation. We'll take a step back and do that. For the majority of the game, they both ended upwards of 90, completely dominated with that Silas and Qiyana pick. Much happier with that draft out of SKT in game 3. Was super exciting, worked really well for them. Should be feeling somewhat confident with the squad going forward. That game 2 obviously didn't quite go their way, but things snowballed pretty quickly, and Afreeca just completely starved them out. So SKT now advances. They will face Sandbox on Friday. That is best of 5 action, which is what we've been waiting to see out of this squad. And now that they're getting another bump up in championship points, they're looking pretty good for Worlds, especially if Griffin manages to win the title. Then it will be hard-pressed for SKT to not finish with the most championship points and head there to the World Championship as the 2nd seed. So they're the biggest fans of Griffin, assuming SKT doesn't complete this gauntlet run and go back-to-back champions, but should be feeling somewhat confident after this series in the SKT boys.